Right, guys, how's it going? Welcome. Um, right, we've got the law of one open at the moment. I thought today we could look up raw contact just for something a little bit um, ambiguous and charge into it and see what's here. Raw contact. So, this is the very first question ever in this whole blog, right? So this is where they introduce themselves. I am Ra. I have not spoken through this instrument before. We had to wait until she was precisely tuned, as we send a narrowband vibration. So yeah, it was actually through a machine that they've actually done this through. We greet you in the love and in the light of our infinite creator. We have watched your group. We have been called to your group, for you have a need for the diversity of experiences in channeling which go with a more intensive, or as you might call it, advanced approach to the system of studying the patterns of the illusions of your body, your mind, and your spirit, which you call seeking the truth. So we seek the truth through that illusion. Otherwise, there would be no reason to be a truth seeker, would there? So that's where we find love. One way. We hope to offer you a somewhat different slant upon the information which is always and ever the same. So it's a different frame of reference of the same information. The Confederation of Planets in the service of the Infinite Creator has only one important statement. That statement, my friends, as you know, is all things, all of life, all of the creation is part of the one original thought. Everything is one. It's like how space and time is an illusion because it's everything is one. So it's all one and the same, right? We will exercise each channel if we are able to. The reception of our beam is a somewhat more advanced feat than some of the more broad vibration channels opened by other members for more introductory and intermediate work. So this is advanced material and it is more specific and less broad, like the introductory and intermediate work. Let us for a moment consider thought. What is it, my friends, to take thought? Took you then thought today? What thoughts did you think today? By the way, it's all the one thought as well. Even though there's sub thoughts, it's all the same one thought. Think about that for a sec. It's like people. We are all sub groups of people, but we are all one collective human race. All one, right? So let me just have a sip of this. So when more oneness is realized, that's when more main freight happens as well, by the way. That's why in the higher realms everything happens so quickly because there's more enlightenment. And when you think you're more one, you attract more oneness to you. So that's why it's faster because more enlightenment is realized. So when you grow as a soul, that happens. You're more at one with other people, and that's where more main freight happens, more love happens, and it just keeps. Imagine like a conical funnel going up to the top to a point. That's exactly what happens in enlightenment, right? It's a wide circular base at the start, and as we realize more oneness as our soul expands, it actually goes up like a conical funnel up to a point where it's completely one at the top. But we never get to that point because it's always an asymptote. You're never going to get to that just a point, right? There's always some illusion there because it must be that way. So what thoughts were part of the original thought today? In how many of your thoughts did the creation abide? Was love contained, and was service freely given? You are not part of a material universe. You are part of a thought. You are dancing in a ballroom in which there is no material. You are dancing thoughts. You move your body, your mind, and your spirit in somewhat eccentric patterns, for you have not completely grasped the concept that you are part of the original thought. Yes, you haven't completely grasped it because it's an illusion, right? We would at this time transfer to an instrument known as Don. I am Ra. 2-minute pause. I am Ra. I am again with this instrument. We are close to initiating a contact, but are having difficulty penetrating a certain mental tension and distraction that is somewhat characteristic of this channel. By the way, I might add, go to the Big Bang on my channel, watch the Big Bang videos if you want some more insight on why there always must be a duality for anything to exist. Otherwise, it can't exist, right? Even in the higher spiritual realms, there must always be a duality for anything to exist. Otherwise, it's not possible because there's no, it's the law of relativity, basically. There's nothing to relate anything to if there's no duality that exists, so it can't. So then that's why there can't be that point at the top that's just one, because there'd be nothing to compare it against. So if there's nothing to compare one against, that even that point can't exist, right? Okay, that's the proof. Let's go here. The instrument will find us entering the energy field at a slight angle towards the back of the top of the head in a narrow but strong area of intensity. We are not able to offer any conditioning due to our own transmitting limitations. Therefore, if the instrument can feel this particular effect, he may then speak our thoughts as they come to him. We will again attempt this contact. I am Ra. 90-second pause. The instrument is resisting our contact. However, we assure her that we are satisfied with that the contact with the one known as Don, as it is not at this time preferable to that instrument. We will therefore move on to the one known as Leonard. Again, we caution the instrument that is a narrow band communication which is felt as a vibration entering the aura. We will now transfer this contact. I am Ra. 90-second pause. I am Ra. We greet you once more in the love and light of our infinite Creator. We ask that you be patient with us, for we are a difficult channel to receive. However, we may perhaps add some dimensions to your understanding. Because of the vibrational difference. So they are a difficult channel to receive. At this time, we would be glad to attempt to speak to any subject or question which those entities in the room may have potential use in the requesting. I am Ra. I greet you in the love and light of our infinite Creator. I am with this mind-body-spirit complex which has offered itself for a channel. I communicate with you. So it's radio waves, basically. So for you as the channel instrument, you basically have to be in tune with their vibration to get those light rays to you, right? So they've worked with me on my solar plexus and they've worked with me to be a medium because God's made that happen, right? So that makes it easier for me to get that bandwidth, right? Even though everybody's intuitive, but that's why I'm sitting here doing this work, right? Because being in fifth dimension allows me to have the understanding. Without understanding the law of one, it's a knowing from the unity, which is the channeling, Erica, right? Does that make sense? By listening to wisdom, you get more intuitive. I'm with this, so you're in a good place. I'm with this mind-body-spirit complex which has offered itself for a channel. I communicate with you. Queries are in order in your projections of mind distortion at this time and space, absolutely, because it funnels from your cellular memory level, and that corresponds with your mind distortion at this time and place, and that gives rise to the exact questions that are the right questions for you to ask. So they're projections of your mind distortions. So it's a mind, body, spirit integration that works together. That's basically a knowledge of the whole body that you are seeking as a seeker, as a wisdom seeker. So it's always the right wisdom from the question that you ask that you need to hear at that given point in time. Thusly, would I assure this group that my own social memory complex has one particular method of communicating with those few who may be able to harmonize their distortions with ours, and that is to respond to queries for information. We are comfortable with this format. May the queries now begin. That is the definition of a healer. Harmonize their distortions with ours. So you basically attract, for the healer to heal, and for the people in the room to get the information they need, because the healer will keep healing all the time, right? And it's an unraveling of their DNA, I would say, to basically raise the frequency of those who they are healing, so that then they can be healers in the future, if that makes sense. So that's basically what I'm doing here with the collective consciousness. So they're getting the information they need to hear from me, and I'm healing more so at the same time and becoming a better psychic channel as a result. So it's got a dual effect for the healer and the healer and those that need those wisdom seekers, I will say, wisdom seekers. May the queries now begin. 2.1. I reckon that's it. Just as an introduction.